So when I looking on Instagram, social media from afar or from the outside looking in, when I see this kind of stuff, when this property and you purchasing it, I think of like, okay, so you must be expanding, right? You're growing your business, and you're looking for more land so that you can grow your business and your life and everything, and kind of combine the two. And then I see you like, kind of like downsizing your trucks, like selling things like that. So what really is going on?
So the total opposite has happened. Yeah, it would be a great place to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger, but I'm going the total opposite direction.
A full-time state police, and then you had part-time lawn care, now full-time lawn care, now part-time job.
Yeah, it's kind of flip-flop.
Yeah.
But
what's up?
What's going on?
So we're inside practically the new trailer here. Inside the trailer.
Welcome to my home.
Yeah.
I got my high touch, I guess you could call these red touch racks. Red touch.
Red touch racks. Ooh, those are clutch right there. It's pretty fitting that you were the very first episode of Get to Know the Pro Season 1, and now why not make it Episode 1 of Season 2, right?
Exactly.
So this is like, so tell us what's changed since we saw you last.
I was going to say that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I had to get a shop thanks to the county. They got on me about my stuff being at my house. Which worked out because I actually share it, so rent is a little bit easier to deal with. I've expanded. 2 years ago I won a mower at the GIE Expo, so that helped last year tremendously.
I can imagine.
With just productivity. I've bought and sold so many things since then. Like I bought a stand-on aerator, spreader, what else have I bought? That's a great question. I bought a new leaf vacuum, and I think since the last Get to Know the Pro, I've also bought a new dump trailer, which they've seen in your videos before.
Yeah.
And then we've obviously got the shop now. But I also purchased a new stand-on mower. That year we did the Get to Know the Pro. I purchased it later on that year. And just a various small little things here and there, little baby upgrades. I've changed handheld from steel to Echo, which has been fantastic for me.
So what's been the need for buying all this extra stuff?
Just expansion, work, being more efficient at what I do. And I'm solo too, so it's like, okay, maybe some stuff is like was wearing out. Other things are just, okay, what can I buy to be better, to be faster, since I'm by myself most of the time.
Do you have plans to grow past yourself, like to have employees or a crew or anything like that?
Eventually, yes. It's just the thought of payroll is what scares me, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm being completely honest. It's payroll that scares me.
Yeah.
It's just that's one more thing that I have to deal with, and one more thing I have to pay taxes on and stuff. But I understand the fact of if I have more people, I can do more work and make more money. It's just, when do I think is the right time for me to do that? When is the right time for me to take the plunge? When am I going to be financially able to do that? I'm working on trying to get debt-free as much as I can, although I'm already thinking about things I want to buy later on this year. Again, I know people have done it, but it's pretty hard to be debt-free in this industry, having to constantly like upgrade things or replace things.
Right. You just have to be smart about it, strategic, stuff like that. You don't want to get in too far over your head in debt, because that's what will put you under. Right.
I'm 22 years old, graduated high school 4 years ago, and I've
Yeah.
built this from the ground up since in high school.
Yeah.
So
So what services do you mainly offer? Is it just mowing, or is it a little bit of this, a little bit of that?
maintenance, so like turf maintenance, stuff like that. I've recently, over the winter, I did the pesticide training course here in Virginia. So I'm looking at testing later this month for that to be able to spray and treat. Looking at being able to spray and treat different properties and just sort of be a little more customer oriented in that aspect. And we do a lot of mulch still. Leaf removal is a big season for us. I've been demoing some different equipment that'll make that a lot more efficient and profitable for me, especially. Most of the time I'm by myself, but I have help when I need to, which is a nice thing to have. It's just kind of, hey, I need help. Can you come help me this day? And I can come help you some other time, and kind of trade back and forth. And I mean, it's just turf stuff, really. We do a lot of bushes in the spring and in the fall. Mowing, obviously, is the big money maker for us, or for me, I should say. I'm by myself. I don't know why I keep saying us. I'm a subcontractor, but I also have my own snow removal stuff. So I did purchase a plow for my truck last year. That has been awesome. Granted, we haven't been quite as lucky this year as we were last year as far as the snow goes, but it's nice to be able to use my own truck versus one of my boss's trucks, because mine's a lot nicer, has all the creature comforts, and I make a little more money using my own vehicle. But that's another insurance that I have to do, another piece of equipment that I've got to worry about maintaining. So I mean, maintenance can be a headache at sometimes, especially too. I mean, you see all this stuff that I have.
Something interesting, one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get back with you is because I saw that not only did you get a shop, but you're sharing this shop with a competitor, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. He's a friend, right? He's a friend of yours?
He's a friend, yes. And I don't call landscaping a competitive industry. I call it more so a networking industry. We're not here in a cutthroat. I mean, a lot of guys look at this as a cutthroat race to the bottom kind of deal. I mean, I'm friends with a bunch of different owners in the area. So if like I have a mower go down, I can call somebody else, like say, hey, do you have a backup mower that I can use? Or people will call me like, hey, do you have a mower I can use for a couple days while mine goes in the shop? And we help each other out. So I mean, like I know guys who don't have a leaf vacuum like I do, that they will call me to come suck the piles up if they get them to the street. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working if it wasn't for me being able to do something like that.
Right. So you're sharing this space with another lawn care owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it works out too, because he was a former career mechanic, so when I break stuff, he can fix it.
That's awesome.
I'm to some extent I can fix my things, but
yeah,
it's nice to have his knowledge.
Two mechanics' heads are better than one, I would imagine. You know, you can learn from each other and troubleshoot together. So
exactly.
For sure. Well, I wish you all the best with everything, man.
Thanks, man.
Go for 2020, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you're going back to your roots, is what it seems like, huh?
Yeah, going back.
So speaking of home, this is your new home, your new future home, right?
It's 2.5 acres of paradise, what I coined it. It's our paradise. So we're looking forward to it. Hannah and I are planning on building a new home out here, and then in the back corner over there is going to be where we build our new shop for the business and storage, toys, etc.
Right.
So that's going to go in the back corner back over there.
What was the motivation for wanting to find a new location?
To get out of the city limits and reduce what we're spending on taxes, etc. You know, with vehicles, property tax, and all that stuff. So that's what's been motivating us for me over the last several years to find something, and finally found this, and it's not so far out of the city that we're out of touch with reality. We're really close to everything still, without being in the city limits. So that was one of the main motivating things. Plus having space out here to build something for the company that, you know, I've got room for vehicles, equipment, and everything. So everything's not on top of everything else. So
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's definitely more space here, more property. So
way more.
Yeah, that's clearly an
Yeah,
objective.
going from less than half an acre to 2.5 acres. So her and I are very happy. So we're blessed to be able to have this. So don't know when we're gonna build. I guess it's gonna be sometime later this year. We're not rushed. So whenever it happens, it happens.
So when looking on Instagram, you know, social media, from afar or from the outside looking in, when I see this kind of stuff, you know, this property and you purchasing it, I think of like, okay, so you must be expanding, right? You know, you're growing your business, and you know, you're looking for more land so that you can grow your business and your life and everything, and kind of combine the two. And then I see you, like, you know, kind of like downsizing your trucks, you know, like selling things like that. So what really is going on?
So the total opposite has happened. You know, so yeah, it would be a great place to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger, but I'm going the total opposite direction, and was selling off vehicles, sold our dump truck, got a dump trailer, in the process of selling our 3500 dually, because I'm not going to need it anymore. 2020 and ahead, I'm going back to more of an owner operator. We're not going to be operating full time anymore, and it's just going to be enough work to keep me busy, you know, 1 to 2 days a week, which is how the company was founded. 2009, 2010, that's what Mitchell's Lawn Care was. And then for 4 years, 2016 through 19, 16, 17, 4 years, we operated as a full-time business. So changing things up, going back to my roots. I'm blessed to be able to do that, you know. Looking forward to a lot less stress. And yeah, so there's just a lot of good things happening, a lot of good changes. So yeah.
Well, I see you keep sticking with the Rams, right?
Yes.
With the Ram trucks.
Yeah, they've done us well. I've had, I think, 5 of them now, give or take. And the white one that everyone has seen lately on some posts of mine will be my personal truck and my work truck. There won't be any other vehicles other than that one.
So Jobber's sponsoring this episode, and they wanted to ask you, what is the one thing that you learned from 2019, good or bad?
The one thing that I learned, it's always tough questions, like if you could describe something in one word, what would it be?
Right.
One thing that I learned, nothing comes easy. 2019 was a good one. It was a stressful one. You know, managing properties and the crew and equipment and stuff like that. So it was one of the more stressful years. A very successful year, but probably that. Nothing comes easy. So.
What's your plan for 2020? But I think we kind of already talked about that, how you're just trying to go back to your roots and downsize and kind of go back to owner operator, focus on the quality and getting some of your time back. I think the common misconception is that when you kind of become more of the owner and have a crew, you know, whatever you want to call that setup, that you have more time, or that you're going to get more time. And there may be a time that will be the case, but you know, you have to get to a certain level, I think, and there's a lot of transition, that there's a lot of more time that you're investing in the business. You know, you're working on the business and, you know, in the business more than ever, because now you've got people to manage and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So I think that's a misconception. It's like, well, what do you mean? I thought you would have all this time because you have other people doing the work for you. But unless they do it, yeah, exactly. Unless they do it, they don't really understand that perspective.
Yeah.
So when you're back to being solo, you have more time in some regard. You know,
and my thing is that there's several reasons and why I'm planning to do what I'm doing for 2020. And it's crazy because even right now I just had this thought that the last 4 years I have like trained myself to say we, because it wasn't always me.
Right.
You know, we were a team. It was me and my guys.
Right.
You know, so everything, I always referred to Mitchell's Lawn Care as we, us, because it was more than one.
Right.
I'm kind of having to pedal backwards now, because it's not the case. It's me now.
Right.
It's I.
Right.
But the plan moving forward is first and foremost to reduce stress. I'm fortunate that I do have a career, a full-time job, so I don't have to deal with the stresses of being an entrepreneur, owning a full-time business. And I want to, you know, go back to the simple things in life, to where I'm enjoying things again. And I love getting on a lawnmower, and
Right.
I missed a lot of that.
Right.
You know, and I was having to rely on other people to even, you know, get me content for social media, for Facebook and for Instagram, because I wasn't on the front line.
Right.
You know, and I miss it. Like, and anybody that follows me knows that I enjoy motorcycles. I enjoy riding motorcycles. Jumping on a Stander or a ZTR or grabbing a weed eater, to me, call me weird, to me, it's just as enjoyable as jumping on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's a stress release, and I lost touch of that over the last 4 years, and it was nice. I did have some extra free time, but I was almost working more than when it was just me by myself. You know, also playing that delicate dance,
Right.
that balance between having a full-time career and the business. So I found myself doing more and dealing with more stuff than I cared to. So that's some of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing for 2020.
Awesome. Well, thanks for letting me stop by again, show me your new property.
Yeah,
And
I
giving
like
us
your
a little,
watch.
thanks, and giving us a little tour of the property here. What's up?
What's going on?
So we're inside practically the new trailer here. Inside the trailer.
Welcome to my home.
Yeah, for real. This is like a shed right here. Like it's like your own personal storage, your own personal office in here on the trailer.
I got my high touch. I guess you could call these red touch racks.
Red,
Red touch.
red touch racks. Ooh, those are clutch right there. So what's the philosophy on this trailer here?
Well, back last year, well, I've been thinking about getting a enclosed trailer for a couple of years, and I was thinking, you know, I was pricing them, you know, $3,000 to $5,000, and then I said, you know, because the main thing was all this stuff up here, my blowers and all this random stuff was kind of in the back of my truck, and so I didn't really have no space to put anything else if I need to haul limbs or anything like that. So that's why I kind of want an enclosed trailer, so I could take this stuff out and put it in the enclosed trailer. So, of course, me being cheap, I said, how much would it cost for me to actually build it? So, you know, I started planning it out, and it was kind of rough. A lot of people asked me, like, you know, they said, well, if you had measured it out correctly and this, and this. And people have to remember, you can tell by the wood. It's a different color. Yeah. These sides was on here for like years, you know. You know, so I had to kind of design it to meet, you know, build the top to meet the sides. So I designed it the best I could, try to make it as sturdy as I could, as much attachments to my trailer. And so I love it, you know. I just recently got the light and everything.
Nice.
I just recently, the only thing, it was like leaking from here, so I put a tarp on the top. So I gotta paint the tarp now. Now it's a big blue tarp on the top. but yeah, so that's gonna help the leakage. But I mean, I'm loving it. You know, it's an extra storage place. I can leave stuff for storage, and all my stuff doesn't get wet. You know.
See, I thought this whole time that you did this for leaves. Like this was like where you were just gonna store all your leaves or something, or you were gonna blow them in here or something.
The original idea was I was gonna build it up this high, and I was gonna build it up this high, and I was gonna put, and that's why I put this here. If you see right here, I was gonna get a big old plywood and drop it in these slots, and then put a net tarp over it.
Okay.
So then cut a hole in the front and blow leaves in here. But then I started thinking, you know, well, maybe if I raise it up an extra 2 feet, I could have shelves. I was planning to put shelves all around here, but this shelf is big enough. And plus, I didn't want to be too top heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my original idea. And then once I got it built, it's like, I said I could start bagging leaves, you know. So, because now that I have the back of my trailer, you know, kind of like the thing you have, I said maybe I could get one of those, and instead of having to haul all the leaves off,
here,
you know, by hand, I could get one of those crank things off the back of my truck or something like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sweet. Well, looks good, man. You've always been innovative.
Yeah.
Good job. So what's new since the last time we saw you? Obviously, we got the trailer here.
Trailer.
But what else is new that's been going on in business and or life?
Well, I'm full time. You know, people still asking me, "Are you full time yet?" So yeah, I'm full time since last May. It's almost coming up on a year. I can't wait till the grass cutting season starts. So it'll be my first full time season.
So what made you transition to that? So you were working for law enforcement at the time, right? You were state police, working at the weigh station, right? And I remember that episode you were still working there, and just our off camera and maybe on camera talking, like you were possibly waiting for like certain time or whatever, but I just don't recall it being this soon. So what changed?
Well, as far as the timing, like, you know, like they always say, everything in life is no right time to do anything. If you keep waiting for the right time, you're never going to do it. So but what really pushed me was my family time, really. My daughter was 4 at the time, and she started gymnastics, and I'm just thinking, it's 14 more years before I can retire, and I'm working 9 days a week. There's no way I'm gonna be missing everything she does, you know. And I say, you know, I have a choice of either overworking myself, or I can just make the leap, make the plunge, and try to start building my business, which is something I wanted to do for the last 3 years, you know. So that's what kind of pushed me, my family. Yeah.
But now you're went ahead and got another job though.
Yeah.
Now? So you quit. So you left one, went full time in lawn care, and now you have. Is it another full time job or part time?
It's a part time.
Part time. Wow, that's crazy, man. From full time state police, and then you had part time lawn care, now full time lawn care, and now part time job.
Yeah, it's kind of flip flop.
Yeah.
My wife kind of saw an open house for, you know, a job at the airport. And she said, you know, maybe we could get free flights, you know. So I said, all right, you know, I'll go check it out. And I said, you know, worst case scenario, you know, if it doesn't work for my schedule, I don't have to do it, you know. So I went, checked it out. It wasn't that bad. Had a very flexible schedule. I have to work a minimum hours, and I can pick up as much hours as I want to. And we get free flights. So.
Nice.
So I mean, it doesn't hurt. You know, I work a lot of overnights, so. You know, it doesn't interfere with my lawn care if I got to go out and do a leaf job or anything like that. So.
Well, thanks for letting me come back out again and catch up with you, man.
I appreciate it.
All the best in 2020. We're gonna crush it, right?
Yep.
So, Chris, nice to see you again, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you too, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
So catching up from the last episode, or the first episode, so you were talking about how lawn care changed your life, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you just love it. You're focusing more on lawn care, landscaping then. So what's changed from then till now? You got married, right?
So
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, last year when we did the first part, I was renting a house.
Yeah.
But we had decided that, you know, if I truly want to you know, expand the business, we were going to have to move elsewhere. And so we decided to look for some land. And we found some land, and then we very quickly got married. Now, it's all very sudden. It all happened within a month. But yeah, we got married, bought some land, and our house is being built, and it actually should be done by February the 14th. But I just found out a few days ago that we're running into a couple of hiccups. But I mean, it's 90% there.
That always happens with houses. Trust me, I know. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
It's part of the process.
So everything is done on the house, but we're just waiting on a couple of final inspections, and then we can do, the grading and so forth. That has to be. I guess that's the problem when you're building a house,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so you're working on expanding your business? I
Yes,
mean,
I
I've seen
am.
you doing on social media. You're doing a lot of hardscaping and things like that. You've had employees. So can you talk about that a little bit?
So I'm very well aware that as the business grows, I will have to hire employees, and so I tested out a guy. I actually even brought him to the GIE. I think maybe a couple of you guys who view this might have recognized him, just to see how it is to manage an employee and to give up a little bit of responsibility and to give up a little bit of your will and realize that an employee is going to do it their way. They might hold the weed eater this way, or they might mow it this way. And I said, I have to give that up in order to make room in other places. And so I've went through 2 employees. Both have unfortunately not worked out. But, again, that's one of the hardest things, is to find the right guys and to train them and to hope that they stay. So it hasn't worked out, but I have a taste of what's to be for the future on that part.
Right, and that's something that we're all struggling with in this industry overall. Labor right now is tough to come by, tough to find, tough to keep, and all that. So it's definitely something that we can all relate to for sure. And it's just kind of part of the growing pains, I would say. So
you're dealing with a person. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, that's fine.
You're dealing with another person who has their own mindset, and so. My wife always tells me that no one's going to see the business the way you see it, and so I have to understand that they're never going to work as hard at it as I do. However, it is vital to to understand that that's the way other people are going to do the job, but you have to be okay with that. And if until you can move on, you're going to have to keep them around before you can get the next guy in there.
Right. So back to hardscaping. So you've been doing a bunch of hardscaping now. You're trying to expand into that.
So last February, 2019, I did my first actual patio job, and I will tell you, it was a disaster. As soon as we got our base dug out, we got our base put in. It poured rain all over the leveling sand, and it was just a disaster. It all had to get ripped out. And I'm kind of grateful that it was a disaster, and it really was, because it gave me the learning curve to say, these things are going to happen. You might want to go out and mow one day and it just pours rain. So what do? You have to have a contingency plan. But it came out without a hitch. I actually 2 weeks ago I went and revisited it, and it's great. Like, it's not sinking in, it's not falling apart. There's no erosion. It's still holding up, and I followed all the steps. But the hardscaping, the company is haul and install landscaping, and so we have to start incorporating hardscape projects, so that way we can hold up to what our company name stands for. And so this year we've already knocked out 1 patio, and I think I've got a few more that are coming my way, and so that is going to happen to hopefully make sure that our company stands behind what our name is.
Awesome. And did you mention part of your building the house and getting land is to help grow not only your life but also your business a little bit, right?
Yeah. So, before that even happened, I had already bought another trailer, and HOAs, the city started giving me flyers on my truck saying, this can't be here. It's a commercial truck. It's a commercial trailer, and parking and whatnot. And I said, I can't park on like a regular road. And so we said, we're going to have to bite the bullet and take on that cost of the loan and whatnot. However, without it, I can't really expand. And so, of course, the loan that we got for the house and land doesn't last forever, but business will. So it eventually will pan out for itself. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That sounds like a great plan and a
Yeah.
great future for sure. Well, I saw you at the GIE, you know, like everyone. And
it was
I saw,
great to see you.
Yeah, you too. And I an employee with you, and I was like, man, I gotta check this guy out. He's doing some stuff there. You know,
No.
you're growing and you're getting after it. So I'm
But-
glad to see that you're doing good things and you're continuing to do what you love.
Well, it was, you know, and I will say, you know, having an employee, you know, I really wanted to bring him to the GIE to show him what really I guess I should say the lawn care media, right? Lawn care media,
yeah.
lawn care media family is all about.
Yeah.
Get to know the people in the industry to realize that there's endless support. I mean, I'm in contact with people like Naylor in Virginia. I'm in support of people down in Florida, people that I talk to in California, and so we all get to talk about how things are changing in the industry, and so what we can anticipate how changes need to meet for the future. And so it's, man, there's so much out there to learn and to connect with. It's just unbelievable right now. So,
I agree 100%, man. Check this guy out. He's on the move. Thanks, man.
thank you very much.
It's
I
good
appreciate
seeing
it,
you.
man.